Welcome to San Angelo ISD Tech Badge tutorial. This video session is an introduction to Google Form. Google Form is a web-based application that allows a user to create and share interactive questionnaires such as surveys or quizzes that helps to gather data, that data is then placed into a Google Sheet for further analysis. To locate your Google Form, we're going to click on the blue New button, scroll down to More, and then over and up to Google Forms, and this will open up a blank form. The first thing I have is the untitled form. I can title it. I'm going to do title form. Once I click off of that, you'll notice it's going to add the title here. There's my title form. All changes automatically save into your Google Drive. I'm going to go across and talk a couple of things on this top menu button. We have what's called add-ons. These add-ons give you more function and more choices and options for your form. To get to these add-ons, we're going to go all the way to the end. These three dots mean more menu, means there's more options. Notice we can make a copy of our form, we can trash our form, print it, add collaborators. But I've got an add-on button. It's going to open up a new add-on screen. And this is where I can search for an add-on if I know the name of it, or I can just search through the ones that they even recommend. And I'm going to go down here to SurveyMonkey, and notice it's free, so I'm going to click on it. I do have to allow for the permissions to be able to use it to add it on there, so I click Allow. It will give me a message saying, hey, it's been added to your add-ons. I've got it. And notice when I click on my puzzle piece, which is add-ons, this new add-on is available now for my forms. The other thing that I have up here is the color palette. This is where I can change the themes of my form. I can change it to a different color, or I can even add an image. When I click on the image button, it sends me to a select theme box. And notice we have different illustrations and themes. You can just scroll through and see the different ones. When you find the one you like, you just click on it and then you choose Select. Notice you can also upload photos from your albums, so you can even use your own photos. I'm going to click Select and notice it'll change the theme of my work. At any time as I'm working on this form, if I want to look to see what is the respondent going to see, I'm going to click the preview button up here at the top. It's going to open up a new screen, and this is what the respondent, whoever's filling out the form, this is the view they will see. So you can always check to see what they'll be looking at. I'm going to close that box down. I'm going to go back into my editable Google form. And then I'm going to talk to you just a little bit about your settings. We've had some new features added to Google Forms settings. The first tab is the General. When your form is done and you're ready to send this out, if Restrict to San Angelo ISD users is checked and Limit to 1 response is checked, these respondents will have to sign in to a Google account. So if you're wanting anybody to be able to fill out this form, you will need to make sure that these two boxes are unchecked. That means anybody can fill out this form. They do not have to have a Google account. If it's just for your students, let's say you're making a quiz just for your students, they all have Google accounts, so you may want to restrict that just to the San Angelo ISD users. You might only want to allow them to have 1 response, and you can even collect their emails and addresses. As I start choosing more options, notice it gives me even more options that I have to pick from. And then I'm just going to choose Save there. I'm going to go back into my settings. I also have presentation options, and I can even make it into a quiz. When I click on this, it's now activated as a quiz, and I have some more options that come up with my quiz options and what the respondent will see. And I'm just going to choose Save. And here's what that will look like with this question. I'm going to go into my first question here, and I'm going to type in, do you like to read? Notice down here it gives me an answer key. I'm going to keep this one in a multiple choice format. So as you type in your first question, a couple of things. I can add an image, I can change the type of question that it is, but I'm going to leave it as a multiple choice question. I click on option 1, type in my answer. I can add another option. I can add a third option. A couple of things about your question formats now. If I want to change the order, you'll notice these 6 dots. I can click, hold, and drag, and I can change the order of my answer choices. I can also, you'll notice the image icon, I can add an image to my answer choice, make an image my answer choice. If I don't want the answer choice, I don't need that one, I can go over here to the X and it will remove it. Because I have made this a quiz, it now wants an answer key. I've got to give it points, and then I also need to let it know what is the correct answer. I can also add feedback to each of those answer choices. And then I'm just going to click off of it. And when I'm ready for a new question, you'll notice you have another side panel over here at the right-hand side. The addition sign means that we're going to add a question, so I'm going to click on this and add a question. And I just remembered I'm going to need the student name. Now I don't want the student name to be a multiple choice, so I come over here to my question options and I'm going to choose short answer. Notice how it changes down here. I can give it a point value, participation type points if you choose. Notice on each of these questions, I'm going to toggle back and forth by just clicking on these questions. On each of these questions I have options to duplicate, to trash, or to make it required, and I'm going to make this one a required. All questions also have a more menu button, which you have more options on your more menu button. I'm going to go back up to the do you like to read, and I'm going to edit the question. I also want to make this one required. Notice I have those same duplicate, trash. I also have more options, and notice the more options changed just a tad from that short answer. I can also, not only do I have the option to move around my answer choices, but I can move around my questions too. Like I want student name to be the first question that they see. So you'll see these 6 dots here, my cursor changes. I'm going to click, hold, and drag up, and now my student name is my first question. Within a form, you can add an image, and let me go up here to my title form. I'm going to go into this form description. I'm going to choose my add an image. I can upload an image from my computer. I can take a snapshot if I have a webcam, go to a website, use my album or pictures that are on my Google Drive, or I can search. I'm going to search for books here. When you find a graphic that you like, just click on it, choose the blue select button, and it will add it into your form. When you add it into your form, notice you got those same options of duplicate, trash, and even a more menu. I can title it. I want to resize it, so I click on my image and I get my handles here. I'm going to click, hold, and just drag my handles, and I'm going to resize my graphics. So I can add in graphics. I can also add in what's called sections. I'm going to add in a section 2. Let me show you what the section 2 is going to do, and I want this question above it, so I'm going to click, hold, and drag, move that back up to section 1. Now in section 2, I'm going to give it a title that's known as Mark Twain. Oops, I want my student name up there also. There we go. So I've got my student name. All right, now I'm back into section 2. And on my section 2, I want to add a video. So now I'm going to click on my video icon, and I'm going to search YouTube for Mark Twain. I can preview the videos by clicking on the play sign, and I can preview what the video looks like. If it's the video that I want, I just click on it and choose the blue select button, and it now adds the video. Once again, I can title the video, I can duplicate, trash. You also have some more options here. If I want to add a question to this, I can also add a question. Write 3 things you learned about Mark because they're going to have to do a little bit of writing, I'm going to change my option here to be paragraph. That means it can write in longer text. Because it is an answer key, I'm going to go in and add points to it. I'm going to edit my question here. I'm going to make sure that it is required. Alright, so now here's what I wanted to tell you about the sections. I'm going to go back up to this to do you like to read. And remember, we have those more option buttons, and it says go to section based on answer. From here, if a student said yes, I'm going to move them to section 2, and they're going to go find out more about Mark Twain. If they said no, I'm going to send them to submit the form. Now let's take a look to see what that looks like. I'm going to go up to my preview button. And the first thing you'll notice, I'm on the preview, is that there's no video. You don't see the video because I've got it in a different section. So I'm going to type in my name. I'm going to tell them that yes, I like to read, and I'm going to go next. And notice where it takes me. It now takes me to my video. I can watch my video here, and then I can type in the 1, 2, 3 things that I learned about Mark Twain, and then I click on the submit button. I'm going to close that down. I'm going to go back into the preview again. Oops, sorry, because it's already scored, it's only going to let me do it one time, and it shows me my point systems there. I'm going to close that down. And I'm going to go back into my form, and you'll notice that it says responses. When I click on responses, it lets me see a summary of the student that sent it. Remember, I added that email option, and it sends me all the information. Now, this information is not just here. Off to the top on the right-hand side, you see a create a spreadsheet. I can put the information into an existing spreadsheet, or I can choose a new one. And here it is, my title form responses, and I click on create. And what that does is it creates a spreadsheet in which, as they start filling out that form, their answers will go into this spreadsheet. So I'm going to close down this spreadsheet. I'm going to go back into my editable form. So we've talked about how to title it, how to get add-ons, how to change your theme, how to preview it, some different setting options that are available. We've looked at how to add questions, titles and descriptions, images, videos, and sections. The next thing that I want to take you to is the send button. How do we get the form out to other people? On the send, I've got where I can email it out. I can just type in the emails, subject, and a message. Notice if I email it, I can even embed the form into the email and then send it. I have a link. This link seems pretty long, so I can shorten it here by shortening the link, and then I can copy it. That link can then go into my Twitter or my Facebook, or it can go into my blog or my Google Classroom, and I can share that with them. Notice that when you share this link, if your settings have been restricted, when that person gets that link, they have to sign in to Google to their Google account, because I've got it restricted. Also under send, you can embed, and that's where you can copy that code there and embed the HTML into your web page if you'd like to. Also up here at the top, as we talked about, we've got a more menu button where we can make a copy, trash, add collaborators, print. Remember, we can get our add-ons here. One last thing I'd like to share with you is the Training for Google Apps. It's an extension that you can get at your Chrome web store. It's right here in the top right-hand corner. It's a little question mark with the Google icon. When I click on it, it's going to give me a list of step-by-step interactive videos that will take you through the process of learning how to use and work with Google Forms. I want to thank you today. I hope you enjoy your Google Forms. If you have any questions or need any further assistance, please contact us.